Let's talk about flight. I specialize in working with dogs who are experiencing chronic stress, anxiety disorders, hyperarousal, or trauma, and who may be displaying aggressive behaviors when they are highly stressed. One of the most important things for these dogs to learn is that they can get away and how to get away, how to take space in situations where they're experiencing distress. Where they can flight, there's no need to fight. One exercise I do pretty early on is to teach a flight cue, where we put running away on cue. And I play this as an on-off switch game. On-off switch games are games where we are coming up in arousal and then back down, carefully adjusting the level of arousal to match the dog's skill level. And we're building learned industriousness and the ability to self-regulate. So typically what this looks like is starting out with the dog when there are no triggers around. We say their name and then give a cue like, let's go, run. It really doesn't matter what word you use, just make sure that it sounds happy and playful and not like you're being chased by a lion. And then you're watching your dog, okay? You're not just taking off without them. You take off running together. And you might run just a few yards. And I'm using the term run loosely. So this can also be a fast walk. It can be a jog. It can be a purposeful, normal gait, but we are getting out of here. And just that running is going to bring your dog up a bit, right? And then we're going to do perhaps a scatter feed. The calming part of it can be adjusted based on the dog's individual needs. So sometimes we might do licking instead, but then we're helping the dog to come back down. This is also, in the on-off switch piece of it, a great opportunity for pet parents to work on the skill of knowing when to lower or raise their criteria. So if my dog does that arousing piece and then they're sniffing frantically trying to find the food, but not having as much success as you might expect given how great their noses work, if they're having trouble disengaging to the food, if their body language indicates that they're in a more highly aroused state, you have uneven weight distribution, for example. You want to really focus on that calming piece until the dog is more relaxed and then adjust your criteria. So you might not run as fast or as far on the next repetition. We want to set them up to be able to calm down really easily and successfully. And then when they're sniffing easily, finding all the food, taking the high and low value food, their body language looks good, then we can increase the arousing piece, increase that challenge. And then back to the flight cue piece of this, we can also use this specifically in areas. So if I have a dog who struggles in the backyard at the fence, we can teach the dog to run from the specific troubling side of the fence, or all of them if it's all of the sides, to the back door, for example. So we can practice specifically in the area where a lot of times we need to use flight. And I often see dogs then start choosing to do this on their own. And of course, we can use this in a management situation. So if we see a trigger and we need to get out of there, we can give a good let's go or a run. And the nice thing about this is that it's really internally reinforcing. It feels good to get away from the stressor. And so that is the big reinforcer here. The treats, I guess, technically are also reinforcing the moving away, but they really pale in comparison to how good it feels to survive a situation. And then the food here is really, the big purpose of it is to create a situation where the dog is engaging in behaviors that will calm them. So chewing or licking, lowering the head beneath the body, sniffing, and seeking.